Hey everybody, here's an update on the exterior of the Reno. If you remember, there used to be a lattice work fence right here. Actually, it was about to right here. I took it down because it was falling apart, it was ugly, it was dated, it served its purpose, and it was time for it to go. So I went out and bought some Podocarpus and planted them according to the instructions. And I know there's a crepe myrtle that seems a little weird, but I can't move it until the fall when it goes dormant. So there, it's just going to have to stay because I don't want to kill it when I transplant it. The other day, yesterday actually, a man was out here bush hogging this lot because they're about to build 2 homes here across the street. And he came over with his tractor and used his bucket to dig down in here to get the azalea bushes out. So it's half done, so it still needs a little bit more work because my truck still will not pull this out. It's a big cluster of a bunch of azaleas. It's not just one azalea bush, it's several. I planted some purple feather grass, I think that's what it is, or purple reed grass this morning. This will all grow together and it'll look really, really good, nice and soft. A friend of mine gave me some of his Purslane, and I really think it's pretty. It's one of the most heat and drought tolerant plants you can get. These chairs will get repainted. This is just temporary. That's some more Purslane. Now I'm thinking about, and I'm really thinking about, putting my koi pond right here. Because I can sit out here and the breeze is always really nice, as you can see. And this is just where I would like a koi pond. Maybe I'll have another one in the back. But with the shade tree that I'm going to plant right here, because that's east, I think everything will work out, because you can't have your pond out in the full sun or it'll start turning green. I'm going to transplant that poor little elephant ear because the sun is just, in the heat is just too much for these plants, so I'll probably end up moving it right there because it doesn't really get that much sun. So what I did today as well, sorry for the wind, let me get out of it. I planted a Podocarpus here, and I will put another one right here. And the reason I'm doing that is because, forgive the noise, when I come outside, I don't want, these houses are so close, I don't want to have to be forced into talking to my neighbor if they're out in the front yard doing whatever it is that they're doing. So I kind of just wanted some privacy, you know, with some hedging right here. Same goes for this right here. So I was thinking Podocarpus all the way across here, because it'll help drown out some of the noise. This is where I'm staying temporarily until I get this rental over here done. But just to add a little bit of privacy and noise reduction, I thought that would be a good idea. I got to plant these oyster plants tomorrow morning. I'm getting up before dawn and getting ready to come out here first thing in the morning. And this is a rain tree, and it's about to bloom. These things get huge. I don't think whoever planted it here knew that. They can get about as big as an oak. It's pretty big. But I guess you just deal with it in time. Just enjoy it while you can. I think it's pretty. This is the golden trumpet tree. And if you go online, these things are absolutely beautiful. They're the first things to bloom in the spring. And they bloom without any leaves on. So once the blooms are done, the leaves start forming. And these get pretty big too, but it takes a long time. So by the time it gets big, I'll be dead and gone, and it'll be somebody else's problem. I'm going to put it right here in this front yard. And it is a showstopper. It is absolutely stunning. And the tree I'm going to put right here is the Pride of Bolivia. The Pride of Bolivia. So that's what I'm doing in that front yard to create shade. I saw one at the nursery, and the guy has it cut into the shape of an umbrella, and that is exactly what I'm going to do. Okay, my sister wants to come Monday, and we're planning on doing an autopsy on a water heater because we saw a video of it and we're just absolutely fascinated. And since we have a specimen that we can hack and slash and pull open, you know, why not? It's still a mess around here. Things kind of had to slow for about a month or so. So I got a handyman coming. He was a building contractor and he's retired, and he's going to come by and look at the floors and see what we can do about stabilizing them. He'll be here next week. And trying to do some gardening, but it's so hot. I mean, it is absolutely miserable out here. So what I'm just trying to get some various plants back here, low maintenance, things I don't have to worry about, because, you know, I'm going to get older and I won't be able to come out here and do some serious landscaping. I need to move that blue plum boggo somewhere else. This is a pretty plant. It's already dropped its flowers for today. It puts on new flowers every single day, and it self-cleans, and there'll be its old blooms, and then there'll be brand new blooms all over it in the morning. But here in Florida, this is considered a weed. I'm going to save the plant. I'm just going to transplant it because it's just way out of control. It's just nothing but chaos. And I like symmetry and order in my garden with just a touch of a little, you know, crazy. Okay, over here, I need to get all these palms and get up here with my pole saw and just get all this old stuff down. Right now, this is where my garden was, and I have some plants buried out here in all these weeds that I've got to dig up before I can mow over here. I didn't mow right in here because the sunflowers that came from the bird feeder have been feeding the bees. I finally have bees in the backyard, which is very, very good. So next year they'll know to come here and help me with my crops or with my garden. So as you can see, there's some Mexican heather and a bee. What do you know? And another Mexican heather, and then whatever this was for $1.25 at Walmart that I just happened to pick up. I've been using a purple because it seems to attract butterflies and other pollinators a lot faster than whites or yellows. Okay, I'm going to take you on a tour. I haven't got my GoPro set up yet, and that'll help with when I'm walking. You won't get some motion sickness or motion sick. I had to pull up my roses, and I hope they'll survive. If they don't, they were only $1. They were on clearance at Tractor Supply, and I was going to plant them right here. They're not thriving, and I think it's due to the heat. I heard it's really hard to grow tomatoes and roses here in Florida, and I thought it was just a bunch of hoo, but I think someone may be onto something. I'm going to plant them right here. That way they get full morning sun and they get a rest in the afternoon from the sun. And this tree was actually in the front yard of the remodel, and I dug it up and moved it over here, and it is happy. It's really happy. It looks better now than it did when I pulled it up. I think, no, this is not a rain tree. Okay. This was in the front yard at the gate, at the fence. If you remember, there was like 3 or 4 of them. I dug them up and moved them over here. The rest, I moved one over here. The rest of them I put in front of the other rental on the end because they had zero landscape. All these ferns you see are highly invasive, along with that vine right there. I know I'm backlit, and I'm sorry, I'm not a good camera person. There we go. That's a highly invasive vine, and these ferns are highly invasive. They're everywhere. They grow in roofs. They grow everywhere. They just, you can mow them down and here they come. This vine, I'm sorry, I don't mean to make you sick. I'm so sorry about that. Let me fix it. these vines right here, these vines right here, these vines right here, all of these are invasive, and they're just taking up, they're just covering this whole thing. And this mother-in-law tongue, believe it or not, that's invasive too. It's very pretty out here. It's very serene. I got to clean the roofs off, but I have to wait for somebody to be here. I think this is an aloe. If I'm lying, I apologize. But this is their flower. Just thought I'd share. As I say, these vines are highly invasive. They're here, they're there. You can tear them down, you can cut them off. They'll just come right back. It's almost a curse. I was going to plant my roses over here at this man's backyard, or this rancher. Sorry, I ran into a spider web. His backyard, but the handyman came over, a handyman, not the one that's coming next week, but a handyman came over and trimmed down all those limbs and just piled them up, didn't drag them to the street, so it's something else I've got to do. All these bromeliads are growing on their own, naturally. Okay. Each rental has its own storage unit. Okay, yesterday I came out here and there was a wood fence that during, I don't know if it was Matthew or Irma, but there was a fence that went right, oh, there's that spider that landed on my face. Okay, from here over, and it was designed to hide this propane tank. And so one half fell this way, as you can see that the outline in the dirt, and then the other went this way. So what I did was with my leftover Podocarpus, I came out here and planted them 3 feet on center, as the directions said. I could probably have done a little bit more, but since there's already like these crepe myrtles, I don't know. Time will tell. Maybe I will. I don't know. But when I lifted this fence up, I found a little surprise. Let's see what we got here. There we go. Those are snake eggs. The 2 yellow ones, those are dead eggs. They're not going to do anything. But these eggs, so what are snakes, and they're the black racer snake. So I just put the fence back on the way it was laid out when I found them. And eventually I got to get over here and clean all this drama up. It was just kind of a dump. Just everybody, oh, I don't need this anymore, clunk. I don't know if that's poison ivy or oak. I think it's Virginia creeper, but just to be on the safe side, I'm just going to steer clear. But all this has got, it's just nothing but a termite buffet. And termites are bad down here. And I found out that there is a well over here, and if there is, I can run pipe to all these houses. That way I can irrigate and do whatever I need to do without running up the water bill. It's somewhere right in here or over there. Nobody really knows. So when it's winter out, on the few days that it's in the 30s, I will come out here because the snakes are not going to be everywhere, and it'll cut down on some poison ivy or whatever this mess is going on. I got enough problems. Okay, so yeah, nobody wants to look at that, so I thought it was nice. And I'll just take you back over here. I've got to mow the grass either this afternoon or in the morning because it's going to rain, which is fine by me. I've got all these new plantings. I kind of need to get some water. I've run out of all my rainwater that I catch in the barrel, or not barrel, but wheelbarrow. Pineapples are turning. There's one right there, and let's walk around and I'll show you the rest of them. Quickly, this is a rubber tree, and you see how it's all leggy and getting weird? if yours do this, all you got to do is just chop the limb off, stick it in the ground, keep it moist, and it will reroot and create you another tree. So go for it. Live large. Okay, here's another pineapple. Now what I am to understand is when they start turning colors like this. Ooh, I'm sorry, something got on my leg, it freaked me out. When they start changing colors, that's when they're ready. So I'm going to have to verify that. But here's another one. Isn't that just, it looks like a little hand grenade. So I got to pick this limb up. It fell over. It fell down during that last little burst of wind we had. So anyway, it's very peaceful out here. The vines are incredible. They're big and Tarzan-y, the palms and all. I don't really do any maintenance out here or landscaping. If a vine or something gets a little out of control, I'll come out here and snip it and just let it die naturally. But like I said, these vines are just insane. I mean, they're everywhere. Very nice out here. So I'm trying to pick a color for my house. I can't do green. There's too much complaining about green, so I'm just scrap the green. Just forget the green. I don't want to go gray because my neighbor's house is gray, only because it's just cement and they never painted it. Cement stucco. So, I'm thinking about a dark blue. And I don't mean navy. Navy's so navy. Navy's everywhere. I want a different kind of blue. How big everything is. It's so pretty down here. And here's some more of those ferns and vines. Ferns and vines, vines and ferns. These ferns actually grow. I don't know if I can show you because of the way this lighting is. But those are ferns, and they're just dried out because it hasn't rained in a couple of days. But those ferns grow in everything. Palm trees, in the roof of your house. And then you've got these bugs out here. They're supposed to design to eat kudzu, but they're eating these. So it's just crazy. Florida has its own set of issues. So there's just a lot of things to do. I'm doing 1 yard at a time. I did mine. I did the last house on the very end down there, and I'm still working on this right here, but you only have like an hour and a half before it's daylight, and you're just melting out here. So tomorrow morning I'm going to get out here and I'm going to do this bed. It's just doesn't need any plants, it doesn't need any trimming or anything. I'm letting this grow out as much as I can because I cut these pretty hard this spring and made them regrow because they were just so leggy. It was just ridiculous looking. And I'm going to come out here and I'm going to weed. This is all this needs. And these are sunflowers, and these are about to bloom, and I'm just going to leave them alone and let them do their thing. And I'm going to remove these. I'm going to relocate these canna lilies because they're just random. They don't make sense. They're not, I mean, they're growing through a bush. So I'm going to dig these up and transplant them. It's a good color, just wrong place. Location, location, location. This is getting dug up and put over there in that yard. I'm going to take a couple of these and do something right here because this doesn't make sense. I know It's aggravating when people walk back and forth through the side of their house, but I don't see a problem with it, but apparently it bothers other people. See, this is what all these lower pedlums looked like when I first got here. Because they're not getting the adequate amount of sun, so they're reaching out for it. And it's also developing mold. Just poor planning. And then, I guess Sunday or Monday, I'll come out here. This whole bed needs to be redone. It doesn't make sense. It's erratic. It's chaos. It's basically what this bed is stuff that was in the yard. We need landscaping. Poof, let's put it in the front yard, and this is what happened. It just looks horrible. See, it's always something. You're never done here. You're never ever done. So, yeah, I'm going to get this Sunday. It just looks really, really bad. All these beds are depleted. They need of nutrients. They need good feed. I'll probably just dump a couple of bags of manure in each bed and let it regenerate. I can't keep on top of all this by myself. I'm really trying. I don't even have a weed eater. But I've got to trim. I got to get this under control. I just do. It just looks horrible. But this garden is somebody else's masterpiece, so I'm afraid to come out here and do anything for fear of drawing back a stump, you know? But we'll see. I'll get it done. It's just going to take time. And this is pretty. This is very pretty. I know the lighting is so bad here, and I'm sorry. But that's it. I know I've said that 3 times, but really, that's it. I'm done. I gotta get my dog. Toby? Oh, there he is. Good boy. Good you, right? So, I gotta sweep this off. I had to stop because I was wanting to make this film, but I hope you enjoy it. I didn't mean to get so long-winded. Something needs to be done about that. And I guess I will talk to you later when I need to do another update. So thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.